Hello Musici, welcome to this new video of Riepel. Let's continue our journey. So we are going to talk about the Imbroglio. Imbroglio. Now, but what good are such passages? Because we talked about these very strange syncopations and the inganno, no, the confusion, la confusione. Now there's the Imbroglio. Now I remember having seen a 3/8 measure mixed with half notes throughout. So we have 3/8 measures, which is very strange to be 3/8 this way. But let's see how the imbroglio works. This, as you can see, and then in the melody. And in the bass, this. What's the imbroglio? I know this old thing quite well. It is realized when played in the following way. So what's happening in this imbroglio? That we have these notes, so the amount of the 3 bars, or of the 4 bars, actually, of these 4 bars, corresponds to a kind of 3/2, where the grouping can be written this way. So instead of writing, this note with a dot tied to this note this way, and then 2 tied to 2 this way, and this to this, which can be very unelegant, sometimes they used to prefer to write this way. From a certain point of view, this is not so far from the mensuration, the way how mensuration works in the Renaissance for this. And in the 17th century, this can be something very common in some areas, in some compositions. So it's not something totally strange at all. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Basically, you have to think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you group 3. Let's write it better, because the total amount is 12. So the 12 can be divided by 3, as you can see. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 what? Each line corresponds to the 8th note, because we are talking about 8th. And so it's grouped this way: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 bars. 3 notes, 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and going on. In just this imbroglio is a larghetto in 6/8 time, from which accordingly a minuet can almost be played in the following way. Interesting in this, because in just this imbroglio is a larghetto in 6/8 time, it says, from which accordingly a minuet can almost be played in the following way. Interesting to see a minuet in 6/8 or 3/4. But there may be some exceptions. Okay, because this is the imbroglio, so the shifting between the 6. Okay, yes, many times indeed in a minuet we can find the grouping 3 plus 3. Many times. I mean, it's not something which always appears, but sometimes, okay, it may be. So this is the case of the imbroglio. But we have to pay attention that the main grouping in the minuet is 1, 2, and 3, while in 6/8 we don't have a minuet, the minuet rhythm, because it is 3 plus 3. Otherwise we could have a passe-pied if we do pam 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 pam. But we think in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, not like a minuet 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. It's the same point. So the imbroglio. the the larghetto, let's say, works this way. Larghetto is 6/8. Wa, re, ta, ta, ra, ta, tu, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, la, sol, fa, mi, do, pam, pam, pam. Tarantan, tarantan, tarantan. While in the minuet you have taran, taran, tarantan. Let's find a word with 3 syllables. Panama, Panama. Okay, Panama is larghetto. Panama, Panama, pa. Panama, 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 Panama. While the minuet is just a word with 2 syllables, like I don't know, 2 syllables can be 2 syllables, a word with 2 syllables, casa, 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 ca, casa, 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 ca, and here is the minuet. You can see the difference between accenting this and this taran, taran, and tara, tara, it's a lot. There's a lot of difference. Tara, 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 tara. Good. That is why the composer notated it in 6/8 and 3/4 at the same time. In the last allegretto, that is why. Okay, so this is a composition basically which you can play as a larghetto, this way. Or as a minuet. Okay. That is why the composer notated it in 6/8 and 3/4 at the same time. In the last allegretto, which is a short fugue, one sees these meter scenes, with which he means that the white, black, and dotted note each have the same value as the others, namely this: white, black, and dotted. So a very inclusive way of writing. But how to read this fucking music? This is not possible to. This is what happens today. Something which wants to be too inclusive, to exclude all all, and then to be, to create something which is not, which is very bad at confusion and creating troubles around the world. No, 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 no. So what's happening here? But who could have guessed that such a confusione? So such a confusion certainly stems from a confused brain. Oh, let's say this to the European Union Parliament. Or else the composer must be very rich, for if the bread is sliced as thinly for him as it is for me by my wife, then he would not be able to think of the clock chime. Be still then, be still. Perhaps he did it with diligence. Don't judge. You wanted that. There was once a virtuoso who boasted that he could play everything on his cello at first sight and, as it were, blow it away. A composer who was present along with others could no long listen, but ask him if might play for him. The next day, just a short and in fact such an easy solo in which no single note will be higher than the 5th line. I will show you only the beginning of the first allegro. Amazing. That's fantastic. Heavens, the whole solo seemed more confused than an Hebrew map. I didn't get this joke of the Hebrew map actually, but it's beautiful. F, yes. Yes. The note eater got into the pepper right away. If he did not want to learn the entire solo by memory beforehand, he would have to being to realize it, right? But I read it well, eh? I read it well. I passed the exam, eh? Yes. Here, on the other hand, the notes climb above the fifth line. Okay. It must have been a real delight to play a joke on the braggart. However, it only serves those who first learn to recognize that shame is quite different from honor only after their death. However, it only serves those who first learn to recognize that shame is quite different from honor only after they are dead. Tell me just a bit more about the aforementioned confusione. Perhaps I can make one up today or tomorrow. By no means should you do that. Otherwise, you would be taken by many people as more godless and senseless than any shameless with bug. But believe the expert Rupert. But for the beginners who want to play in strict time, it would not be a bad thing to intersperse divisions with rests. Oh my god, what kind of confusion! Let's play this. So, what's happening that? Ah no, there is a dot. Wait. What's written here? Wait. Okay, they are. If you know how long a dotted note is held, you can easily realize this example by yourself. I know that a dot lasts half as long as the note to which is attached. Good. But this is another topic, so we are talking about notes in another thing. We'll see it in the next video. I want just to see here this point. How can we play that? So, because white, black, and dotted note, they have the same values. But what does it mean? That black, white, black, and dotted note, they have the same value. Tam taram. 3-2 means that, okay, this is 1, 2, and 3, and that's okay. But if they have the same value, they should last 3, 3, and 3. And so I guess that there is an entire bar, 2 bars, 3 bars. And here my question is, do we have 4 bars, 5 bars, and 2 notes away? Boo! This is not clear to me at all. I don't know. Let's continue our reading with normal things. Do you want to learn how to compose music in the Renaissance or Baroque style? If you are at the beginning of your musical journey or a professional looking to deepen your knowledge of early music, the best path may be a guided integrated course. Composing in the style of the 16th century or the 17th and 18th century requires much more than knowing harmony and counterpoint. You need to navigate a vast world, including solmization, fugue, cantus firmus, mensural notation, partimenti, dances, chorales and more. To avoid getting lost, you need an experienced guide, a musicus practicus who knows the path, walks beside you step by step, and helps you overcome each challenge with tailored exercises, attentive feedback, and continuous dialogue. Have a question about a topic? We'll discuss it.